warm welcome to Power News, your window to the power sector. I'm Juhi Rajput. Let's begin with the top stories. India to strengthen nuclear generation. Coal regulator by fiscal end, says Jaiswal. Power Minister says changes in bidding documents in offing. NTPC seeks concessional rail freight rate for fly ash. Power situation in Andhra Pradesh grim. NTPC procures coal from other states. NTPC gets tough with Haryana utilities on pending payments. RE Power approves Suzlon buying stakes. SR allotted coal for Madhya Pradesh power plant. And Gujarat to have 6,246 megawatts surplus power by March 2017. Well, those were the top stories of the week. Let's move to our next section, quick updates. A senior Union Power Ministry official has said that the government is considering changes in the standard bidding documents for awarding power projects in future, but ruled out any modification in the existing contracts. One of the most contentious issues faced by power projects developers is the increase in the price of imported coal, especially from Indonesia, due to the changes in the pricing policy in that country. Many Indian companies already own coal mines in that country and thus will be impacted with this policy. Power producers have been persuading the government to modify the existing standard bidding documents for competitive bidding in the international markets to resolve the issues. The 2,400 megawatt gas-based Samalkot power project of Reliance Power is gathering steam with all 6 turbines from US-based GE arriving in India. The first set of 2 turbines is expected to be commissioned by December 2011 and the balance 2 sets of 2 turbines within the next 2 months. Till such time, the turbines are integrated into a closed cycle where waste heat is channelized for additional generation. The first set would produce about 500 megawatt. All turbines would be synchronized into the closed cycle to generate 2,400 megawatt by December 2012. Ray of hope for power companies. In a significant softening of stance over the go and no-go mining policy, the Environment Ministry has agreed to discuss coal projects on a case-by-case basis. The move indicates some headway towards resolving the deadlock since February. While the Environment Ministry had put 203 coal blocks in no-go mining areas, the Coal Ministry had argued potential coal production to the tune of approximately 660 million tons was affected by the tough classification. However, the ministry has decided to keep certain areas out of bounds for mining, which will be termed inviolate areas. International Coal Venture Private Limited, a company promoted by 5 state-owned firms 2 years ago to buy coal mines overseas but which hasn't managed to close a single purchase, seems headed for a split with NTPC Limited, one of the partners wanting out. NTPC says that they are not willing to invest in a coal mine today and use the coal 6 years later. According to NTPC, while the power producer needs thermal coal to fuel its power project back home, ICVL stakeholders are more interested in metallurgical coal reserve to feed their steel mills, and the thermal coal that is being offered to NTPC does not meet their technical requirements. Land acquisition problems force the country's largest power producer, NTPC, to rethink its expansion strategy. The company now plans to use spare land at all its existing plants to put up additional generation units, instead of going in for fresh land acquisition. A capacity of more than 10,000 megawatt is planned to be added under the new initiative over the next few years. Effort is also on to make all NTPC projects compact by re-engineering and replanning townships and using existing ash dike areas for putting up additional power units. Now let's move on to the news of the week. The fight against the recent power tariff hike has taken a new turn. About 60 resident welfare associations across South and East Delhi have decided not to pay the increased 22% tariff and the fixed charges in the next billing cycle. They hope to put pressure on the Delhi Electricity Regulatory Commission and the Delhi government to roll back the hike. Recent power tariff hike has been protested by the resident welfare associations across Delhi, announced by the Delhi Electricity Regulatory Commission. The RWAs participating in the movement are from all across Delhi. Hundreds of RWAs had filed objections to the proposal by the DISCOMs to raise power tariff with DERC during public consultations. However, they were ignored by the regulatory body.
We think they're not coming clean on the numbers that they provide. So we want a CAG audit, and CAG audit not for the past 3 years as the government has done. We want it from day one, that is 2002, all 9 years, that's one. Thereby the proper numbers would come, and till then recall the power tariff hike, because they would be very unfair. What they do is they won't give in all the papers and they're trying to drag it and delay it. So we want this thing. Second aspect, since the time they were coming, and as per their agreement, T&D losses, they were supposed to proportionately bring the tariffs down as the theft and distribution losses were to climb down. 68 to 15% and lower, and not a penny has been passed on to the consumer. 3, the dismal performance standards. They were supposed to give you 24/7 uninterrupted clean power. Now every household has a generator or a inverter. We spend almost 1200 to 1500 rupees a month maintaining those, and those implements also consume power. You can't run an AC without a transformer, and your expensive equipment, home theaters, get burnt out because of the fluctuation in power. These are all power performance standards.
The Delhi Medical Association has also joined resident welfare associations in their protest against the hike in power tariff. Doctors say that the government decision to increase power tariff by 22% would make medical treatment costlier for the common man. Doctors all across the capital are planning to protest along with the RWAs to put pressure on the government to roll back the hike.
A recent hike of 22% is going to have a prolonged effect on the cost of the medical treatment. The moment the patient enters the hospital, right from the moment he get registered at the reception counter, and then when he goes for to the casualty to be checked by the doctor, and then later on when the doctor prescribes the tests and everything, everywhere electricity is being consumed. And with the rise in the cost of electricity, the treatment cost is definitely bound to go up.
All 15,000 doctors registered with DMA would run a campaign to make people aware about the hike by putting up posters against it in their clinics and hospitals. RWAs are regularly conducting meetings to chalk out the strategy of protest. Doctors have already joined the movement, and traders associations are also planning to join them very soon.
The RWAs of South and East Delhi have decided not to pay the increased 22% tariff in the billing. Whereas DISCOMs say if bill payments are done without the hiked amount from September to October cycle, then there were provisions under the Electricity Act on short payment, and any bill paid less will be considered as a short payment. With camera person Mohit Kesle, this is Tulika Rana for Power News, New Delhi.
Power bills for households can fall despite raising costs if bulk buyers are allowed to purchase electricity directly from producers and negotiate rates with distribution companies. The bills can come down. However, state utilities and regulators are obstructing the move. Utilities often buy power at much higher rates than what they charge even industrial and commercial consumers. If big customers negotiate directly with power producers, distribution utilities will need to purchase lesser electricity from the market, reducing demand and consequently the price.
If this happens, these large consumers are taken out, then the utilities will save their expenditure on expensive power purchase, and to that extent retail consumers will benefit. At least for the purpose of domestic consumer, this is absolutely essential, and this concept needs to be tried immediately. So far as the large and bulk consumers are concerned, they are required to go to the market as per the Act also, and they will do so and find the best possible, most efficient electricity for themselves in that particular fashion. This country, it's high time. Many of the developed countries have already done it. Singapore has done it, Spain has done it. Now it is the turn of India, and unless we do it, we will not get any relief for our small and retail consumers for their basic living, particularly in urban areas.
However, distribution companies disagree and say that in large cities, demand is very steady from about 10 a.m. to midnight, as the growing use of air conditioners and other appliances at home ensures that demand does not fall sharply after office hours.
A study conducted by Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi for 7 states shows that if distribution companies exclude a portion of their large consumers, their gains would be about 10% of their sales. The benefits would lead to substantial reduction in tariff for retail consumers while improving financial health of distribution companies. With camera person Mohit, this is Tulika Rana for Power News, New Delhi.
Bulk consumers allege that the State Regulatory Commission do not want to give up their monopolistic powers, while state regulators believe that it is not the right time to deregulate tariffs of industrial consumers when the country has a power deficit. But state regulators fear that utilities may charge even higher tariffs for big customers if the regulator did not fix tariffs. It's time for a quick break, but there is a lot more on the other side. Stay tuned in.